And we are live. NashvilleLou live, back on the air with Meta Battler, along with Twitchy Tides, October 15th, 2024. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. We'll have some fun here for a couple hours with Meta Battler tonight, U.S. time. We're open for Twitchy Tides. See that box in that top left corner. If you want to get in for Twitchy Tides, all you have to do is type !play in the chat. Really, what I should have done in the intro going was get back to the main area of it. And dial it back a little bit further here. You can have more than, I have 31 cards in here. Well, you get to see me mess with my deck live on stream. I think I got this Rhea card. It's a relatively only a small 3.31 infused, so relatively short amount of time in the mix. And that was from, I had with a green pack. You can buy a couple different types of packs of these Meta Battler cards, and so I held on to it for a while as it was like a 60 or something like that. The pack itself was, and I opened it. Rhea at a 66. Nice bump up there. So we'll put Jack Attack back on the sideline. Oh, come on. Do it over here. There. You can have more than 30. There's proof positive right there. But in this case, I want that 10-10-10 split as far as the water, fire, and ice. It's very similar to the mindset of rock, paper, scissors. One of the many things I love about Meta Battlers, you can mix and match any sort of digital item on the wax chain. I've got my own collection, the NashvilleLou collection. Got other stuff. There's actual cards here in game that are Meta Battler cards, which, as you would imagine, gonna put you in a pretty good spot. Great artwork as well. Then you got some random things like Steel Justice out of Blockchain Brawlers. Getting some use out of that here. But this event going on this month with Meta Battler and the game Alien Worlds. That's why I'm specifically nice for me to be able to push the land that I own in Alien Worlds. I've had it since early in 2021. Neary 3616. Those are the coordinates. You play Alien Worlds, mine there, please. At least sometimes. Neary 3616. It's a tree forest. Won't take up too much of your time. But it helps me out a bit. That's greatly appreciated. And other people that do that work me into the mix. You know, be your favorite one. But if you can stop there from time to time, it'd be appreciated. So here you got the PvE Towers. Again, this is a game that just came out here very recently, Meta Battler, and still being developed, a whole lot of it as far as like live player versus player stuff. All sorts of possibilities. So this will be player versus environment. And so there's 5 different decks you can challenge. And one of the great things that Meta Battler does to encourage individuals to play more often and more often in a day are these hourly rewards. They give away 5 of these packs, these Alien Hunter, as they're called, packs. Kind of the collaborative effort with Meta Battler, the game Alien Worlds. And so some have higher climbs than other. The Horseman, it's a 5 to get to the top, and that one's always been vexing to me, the Horseman. The others are all winnable for me the way my deck is now. But typically I'm going to go with the one with the least amount of time left. So we'll start with the Horror Series 1. I plan on going about 2 hours with this broadcast and then rating into Average Casual Gamer. ACG's going live midnight Eastern. So that's my plan with this. We'll see. Also, Twitchy Tides, of course. Got 3 people in right now for Twitchy Tides. !play. Type that in chat. If you want to get in for Twitchy Tides coming up. Alright, so it takes you down to, here it's level 1. You can see on screen I got that red, the ice beats water beats fire, the in-game image. I managed to move it. Doesn't look quite as nice on this part of the screen, but once the battle loads up, it'll look much better. Next to the suck it, like DX parody. You get some great background images they use for these battles here. And I know a lot of it looks to be AI, but it looks good. It draws you anything I like. You can kind of get rid of the I mean, I played enough of The Sims 3 where gibberish text doesn't really throw me. I didn't do a good job of paying attention to the card split for my opponent. Once you start the game, you don't get to look back, so that's on you to pay attention. The Meta Battler, I mean, you can play with anything on the wax chain, so very low cost, barrier to entry as far as that goes. And certain collections, I talk about a lot of my streams, the NashvilleLou collection. Those are my digital artwork pieces and also promotional pieces. And you can use all of that here in game. It gives you a boost, even if you don't use my cards. If you want to play, let's say, with Faded Monsuda from Sensei Bullrog, or you want to use Soul the Cats cards, or you want to use Nerds Unite, Soul, any number. I mean, the list goes, I'll go back through the list here in a little bit. The list goes on and on. And at the moment, I'm second place as far as the total infused MVP, but that's in part because I've been giving away my promotional items, particularly for so many years now. More than 12,000 different wallets have at least one of my digital items, and so a lot of different people playing, mixing mine in because you get a boost. All right. And yet there's balance to it. The system, there's nothing I could figure out, at least as far as vulnerabilities. And this is the first collab I've ever done. I'm very particular about that. I wanted to wait till the time was right. With this game, it was and is right. With Meta Battler. We'll have Twitchy Tides coming up here. We got 6 people in at the moment for it. You can join the list with !play in chat. And this is much more of a conversational game. If I were trying to do play-by-play of this, you just get caught up. It's very difficult. It's more like baseball. You can slow it down, chat. There's not a timer on the screen, although that might be different with player versus player once that hits. But hello, Zarvine, Solkanar, Forslayer, Bo Reddington, Nadu6, Dave Ira. Hello to all of you. Welcome to NashvilleLou Live. This is Meta Battler. We'll have Twitchy Tides coming up. And so I had this on screen to show you that, the white, blue, red, white, and blue. If you can keep that in mind. I'll try not to hover over this bar. It doesn't cover up because I've got this as part of my overlay. I was able to actually get the image from in-game and use it there, so it worked out. And along with the daily incentives, and even the hourly incentives, there's also a week-by-week competition. Try and beat as many different levels as you can. Trying to get on this TLM. Again, this is part of the Alien Worlds. That's when you mine at Neary 3616. With that, as an owner of the land, I get a certain amount, percentage-wise, of that TLM. I can exchange for wax and then use to make more promotional items to give out. Works out pretty nicely with that. Playing Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. Hello, Panda Chan, Funko Lover, Unmata. Greetings and welcome, everybody. Playing Meta Battler. I have Twitchy Tides coming up. I tell you, I feel a lot of momentum going on right now in the world of wax gaming. Cam No has done a tremendous job, dude. Brings an energy like no other. If that style were mine, my voice would be shot in 5 minutes. It'd be very difficult to match that level of energy. But he gets people fired up. It's really cool. And there are a lot of other people as well. More and more, though, people are seeing this Twitchy Tides. It's a draw. People like Twitchy Tides. Streamers pay attention to these things. You can mix it with practically anything. It doesn't have to be a wax-based game per se. I use it all the time with The Sims 3. My top draw. The Sims 3 with Twitchy Tides. At like 2 in the morning. It's funny how it works out. Hello, Chucky. Hello, RCP-ADG. Hello, Terran Lore. Welcome to NashvilleLou Live. We've got Meta Battler now. We'll have Twitchy Tides coming up here in a bit. Playing the Horror Season 1 tower. So I beat level 2. And the reward MVP, that's what helps to boost the cards up. And let's say I decide, okay, I'm tired of this Municipal Auditorium card here, and I want to get this MVP out of it. I want to get that infused MVP out. Well, there's a process to do that, but it drops that card from whatever that number is down to a 1. So there is a price to be paid. But half of the So the cards you use are the cards that get boosted up. So half go to those, as far as infusing the cards, and half goes to your wallet where you can put it where you want, which is helpful if you're bringing in new cards, trying to boost some stuff up. Hello, hackers. Welcome to NashvilleLou Live. Be a couple hours here tonight with Meta Battler, Twitchy Tides. We'll have our first Twitchy Tides game once I'm finished here with this tower, so. Now, I might have a rematch or two I have to do to. And I may not get to. Sometimes you run to the point where it's like, okay, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Plus, you're paying in that MVP. You have to, in your wallet, so that it can be used if you want a rematch, climbing a tower. Anyway, points. We'll have that coming up here. Coming up this Saturday, 19th, I have the next Blue Mint tournament for Warsaken Blitz. I'll be giving away Warsaken Blitz cards for these Twitchy Tides games tonight. I've been clamoring, saying we need more of these tournaments that people can actually see. It's not hidden in some obscure Discord channel. That's got us to where we are here as far as kind of plateauing. You got to reach the world, and to do that, spread the word. You can do that with Blue Mint. If you got the cards for Warsaken, it's not that tough to get a starter deck put together. You can play. It's free entry. You get a chance to win Woofy. That's coming up this Saturday here on NashvilleLou Live for as long as I last in the tournament. I'm not sure if Soul the Cat's going to be in. I imagine she'll be streaming as well, if she is. And it's worked out well the last two tournament finals that they've had on Blue Mint for Warsaken Blitz. Those recordings exist over on Blue Mint's website because Soul made the finals of that last tournament, and I won the tournament prior. So I won this round level 3, score of 7. The better you do, the more MVP you get. And the higher you get in the tower, the more MVP you earn. But it's not like you can exchange MVP for wax. It's not that kind of. It's more like your traditional mobile game in-game token. But you can use it here to boost up your deck, boost up the cards that you want. Level 4 taking on next opponent here from the Horrors. It's Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. Hello, Pennybags Jr. Greetings and welcome. I was saying before, when I finish this run of this tower, we'll have our first Twitchy Tides game of the broadcast. Got a relatively fixed window since I want to raid over to average casual gamer when ACG goes live. It'll be around midnight Eastern. With his stream, he has a little bit of a delay, so doesn't always hit right at top of the hour. He's pretty punctual, though, I gotta say. He's kept that schedule quite well at Tuesdays and Thursdays. For him, 9 p.m. Pacific. Time zones. That stuff gets so just... it gets confusing. I see people make mistakes. They say standard time instead of daylight, and do I want to point it out, or I come across like some sort of know-it-all jerk for pointing it out? Fine line there. All right. Pretty strong win there on level 4. Only had the one that I didn't win heads up, so a lot more of the MVP. And that goes, again, stacks it up in your wallet. It's like right now, again, that part gets obscured by my overlay as far as, but it's not on screen like at this moment. You just see more of the tower that just went on by. So we're level 5 here, on the Brute. Now, here's where it helps to pay attention. Half of the cards are blue, other half are red. There aren't any white cards in there, so no ice. So it's only fire and water. Remember that color wheel shows you what beats what in true rock, paper, scissors type fashion. Difference is, in rock, paper, scissors, if you both have scissors, it's not like there's a higher score that lets you win. You have to just redo it. It's a little bit more strategic when it comes to this, particularly when you know your opponent's relative strength coming into the round. So I know that, my gesture over here, the one you can see, blue's going to beat red every time. So, let's start with that. So if a blue is played here, it would beat my red. If I played a white card, ice, then that would, of course, beat the blue. A color wheel pointing that out. Like it did right there for me. There are reasons that you would sometimes mix it up like that. That worked out the red, because the blue would have beaten it. Let's go with that big blue right there with the 87. A golf course deer for 4th of July in 2008. Speaking of unexpected appearances, Mutant Minnow from Cryptids. Ultra rare. Those ultra rare cards, the Ultra Comics, they get even higher boost than just the collaborator level like what I'm at. Where you get like that level 2 boost. The end game, the biggest boost comes to the actual meta battle cards themselves, like this one. I'll hit you upside the head with a promo pack from 2021. One more. There we go. Flawless victory indeed. Now keep in mind with this MVP because I've got, and I'll go through this. I wanted to get to the action first, but I'll go through this on the other side of the Twitchy Tides game as far as how the MVP works. It is very easy. This is not difficult to learn. It's fun to play. It's fun to stream. And there's enough different towers now. Because before I was a little bit hesitant. It's like, well, what happens if I beat the 2 towers that are there? Do I just run through them again? With this, more of a variety. And we've only just begun with this. Level 6, mostly blue cards, a few white, no red. Hello, Fonny T. Hello, Autumn's Toys. Greetings and welcome, everybody. NashvilleLou live. After this run up the tower, we'll have our first Twitchy Tides game in the broadcast. You can get in by typing !play in chat. Kill justice. Smiley face. Oh, I hit the wrong button, but it worked. And sometimes things work out. Sometimes you get the breaks. Got distracted by Steel Justice. Nice haul the MVP, but also because of the different cards I get to get a boost, like my own collection helps give people a boost as far as the amount of MVP you get for a given round. Multiplier. All red here as far as the cards for the Colossal. Playing Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. We'll have Twitchy Tides coming up here in just a little bit. Got 16 people in for it. If you want to join the list, !play in chat will do it. You know, it's all red up here, so I want to play these white cards. Those will just end with me losing the heads up. There's some luck of the draw to it. I mean, look at all these ice cards here. The numbers only matter when it's the same element going heads up. And I know it's all red, so sometimes you'll have this happen. I mean, this is... So it goes. Now we'll get to the better stuff. You know, it's all red over there. The blues beat the reds every time. One more. All right. Fairground Sports Arena. They tore that building down when they built the new stadium for Nashville SC. Yotis Park. Beautiful facility. All right, level 8. All blue here for my opponent. It's the tower for the Horrors deck. So it's computer opponent, but it's all blue. So with this, I actually want those ice cards I had early. I want that split. It's a 10-10-10 split with the 30 cards I have in there. Okay. Can't complain too much. Starting like this. Again, see that wheel. The white's going to beat the blue every time. Ice beats water in this game. I won't win that one. It'll be a flawless victory. One more. All right. So see now, On level 8, the score of 9, a big juicy boost to the MVP. But even with a big boost, you can see it's a long way to the top here. Once you get to like level 87. Oh, there's some people that play this game that have their cards at that maximum level. Either it was 99 or 100, whatever. Whichever of the two it is, it's where you top out. You can tell I haven't reached that point yet since I don't know offhand. Half blue, half white here for Thin Man. The giant claws. Aaron Judge tops 2021 baseball card in the mix there. I mean, you can use whatever you want with the digital items from Wax in this game. This is Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. Hello, Cesaro NLV. Hello, Notorious Ninja. We'll have this Twitchy Tides game coming up after I finish this run up the tower. Oh, come on. There we go. One more. There we go. All right. So again, more MVP. Level 10. Oh, this is about the point where this tower becomes difficult. Or is gotta start catching some breaks. An 89 ace purple. It's all big and bad until it runs into a red card. Hello, Tree Frog Nada. Welcome to NashvilleLou Live. Playing Meta Battler. We'll have Twitchy Tides coming up after this tower run. First Twitchy Tides game of the broadcast. Down to 3 health here. 5 for the computer opponent. $65, $67. That's just bad luck for me. That's worth even a 0.24. It's worth the effort because the payouts can be decent if it hits. As far as me actually winning this heads up. Let's try this again. Off, man. It was an even split. It's tough. A lot tougher than just you're dealing with 1 or 2. As far as planning or figuring out. Even like in an early round, sometimes you'll just run into an opponent where every time you're playing a white, they're playing a red to beat you heads up. You switch it up with a blue, they're playing a white, etc. There's that. Bit of a neutralizing factor as far as got a deck that's outmatched. Like with those cards I was up against, I should be able to do pretty well here. That next round, maybe not as much, but here, yes. Let's see if luck goes my way here. It's Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. Heads up, 71 blue against the 71 blue, tie the round. Cards bounce off each other in the event that happens here. One more. 82 beats the 79. See, that was worth the effort, wasn't it? That 0.23 MVP, because look at that, 7.08. It leveled up this pack to level 70. You can use the actual, those reward packs. You can't get those anymore. Those are... I only have a few left that I haven't opened. Most I opened because I want the cards that were inside. But a few I kept in part because of the novelty of having an actual pack that you can use as a card in-game. There it is, moving to level 70. It's Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. It'll be tough. The bulk of this will be white cards, a little bit of red, a little bit of black, or green, say black and white. It's a black bar, obviously, but you see the way it looks on the color wheel. Anyway, a lot of white cards in there, a lot of ice. Hopefully I'll have fire cards that'll match up with that. We'll see. We got 21 people in for that next Twitchy Tides game, which will be the first of the broadcast. If you want to join, it's !play. Just type that in chat. Hello, everybody watching over on Kick. Unfortunately, you can't choose Meta Battler as a category yet on Kick, so I have just a generic title for it for card games. But here on Twitch, you can choose Meta Battler as your game category. You can also follow it, which tells Twitch that you find it important. Like, they've just put it up very recently, so I think it just has my one on there at this point, but soon I'll have a bunch of people getting on board. It's mostly the ice cards over here. That's tough. An 81, and it ties the round. I got a bunch of... There are some fire and water cards in there, so it's gonna be tough. I know I'm running into in all likelihood with most of these. But I hope I get some fire cards coming this way. The 62 ice. No match against an 81. And then, oh, look at that. And then we both throw the change up. Heads up with 81 fire for both of us. That's a tough one. 76 fire runs into an 81. Down to my last health point here. All right. The game laughs at me there. All right, so I'm gonna say I'm not gonna try it again. You saw what I ran into there. Well, I mean, it could be winnable for me, but not all my cards are in the 80s. So then you hit concede. They mock you for it, but sometimes that's the best move. Playing Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. So you see 32 minutes. They'll have the drawing coming up. I would say drawing's an automated thing. It's great. No prizes. Like, so there were 23 people that got in for the last time the Hordes was on here, and these were the 5 winners. The more unique levels you beat, the higher percentage, but you can win at most 1 in a given time. But you can potentially win 1 per hour if the luck's on your side and you're playing a bunch. And yet, I mean, it's the unique level, so you can't just completely grind through it. And again, there's checks and balances that I really like that are in place here. All right. Slate up for a moment. We'll get ready to play some Twitchy Tides. First Twitchy Tides game of the broadcast. We got 21 contestants in at the moment. I'm going to join as well. And that'll get us to 22. Like that 23. Hello, Brazen Blake. Welcome to NashvilleLou Live. All right, so if I win, prize goes to second place. I switched out that's the Hydro Kylo I was using earlier. I switched it out beforehand, but maybe because I had this loaded up previously, still had the prior image. It's one of those things I didn't really think about. I love Twitchy Tides. It is so much fun. You can use it with practically anything to live stream. Have a good time with it. So if I win, the prize goes to second place. But otherwise, for the winner, there'll be a Warsaken Foil Prime card and an item from the NashvilleLou collection that'll give you a boost in Meta Battler. Game you've been watching right here. I nudged the jack for my headset, and it makes like half of the audio cut out if you bump it the wrong way. I'm like, delicate, handle with care. All right, 23 contestants. Here we go. Good luck. It's Twitchy Tides. You're on NashvilleLou Live with more of Meta Battler coming up after that. Cannonball going right to left, just tearing through. And quickly we're down to 15. My fish is out, so don't worry about me being the winner. Be one of these remaining 15. There's a fish hook, and we're down to 12. Such a wide variety. Fish. Other aquatic life. Cannonball going bottom. And bottom side strike has us down to 5 remaining. Who will be the winner of this Twitchy Tides game? Cannonball. And we're down to 4. Dave Ira, Notorious Ninja, Zarvine, and Tree Frog Nada, the final 4. Cannonball takes out Tree Frog Nada, takes out Notorious Ninja, so we're down to 2. It's Dave Ira and Zarvine, the final 2. There's that hook. Dave Ira with a timely freeze. Can Zarvine get high enough and around that hook and the bait? Indeed. Zar gets the bounce. Dave Ira, sharp enough angle to get around it. And then a spin move. Now the question, can Zarvine, off the bounce, a spin by Zarvine. Dave Ira gets enough of an angle coming off the top to get around it. The dramatics. Can Zarvine get above it? Nope, that's going to do it. Quite the battle there at the end. Congratulations. Dave Ira victorious in this Twitchy Tides game. Please keep in mind that prizes will be sent out shortly after the conclusion of the broadcast, so looking for that after the broadcast ends, and prizes will be sent from my fulfillments wallet. That's what I used to send out the bulk of my prizes and giveaways here from NashvilleLou Live. The word fulfillments with an S on the end. That's the name of the wallet. If you ever win anything from there and you wonder, what is this? You probably won it here on NashvilleLou Live. And what's also great about this with Twitchy Tides, I click one button, everything copies over, and then I can get what I need as far as just copying over the winner information to a different list. Makes it easier for fulfilling the orders and the prizes and getting that all sent out to my fulfillments wallet. All right. Just like that, we're back open for the next Twitchy Tides game. Exclamation point play. Type that in chat to get in for this next Twitchy Tides game we'll have coming up. So this will be about a 2-hour stream tonight. Go a little past midnight Eastern. Do a raid at that point over to Average Casual Gamer when ACG goes live over on his stream. For tonight, for now, playing Meta Battler, also Twitchy Tides. So I made it. Unique levels completed during that prize pool session. So somebody made it all the way to the top is going to have 13 spots in the mix as far as the remaining prizes to be distributed. And so you got every hour one of these is giving away 5 of those packs. So going with the lowest time remaining is usually my approach. So Hall of Heroes fits that. I mean, you can keep trying as far as wanting to climb the unique levels, but that would take quite a bit of time here. This is Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. Already got 5 people in for that next Twitchy Tides game. You can join them by tapping exclamation point play in chat. Majority blue for this opponent here, but some of all 3. The Terror Toad. Majority blue over there, so we'll go with these ice cards. There are a few reds in there, but there, I ran to a red. There's a red right back at you. One more. That'll do it. All right, so level 1, score of 8. Not a whole lot as far as that MVP, but it's level 1. Which is Hall of Heroes. It's a sharper climb. You're talking 5 levels tops. Not like the 13 levels. You're staring down there with the horrors. do you pronounce anything? Pandemonio. Pandemonium. The battle. It's Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live with Twitchy Tides coming up. 8 people in right now for the next Twitchy Tides game. You can join them by typing !play in chat. And that color wheel I've got on screen is a special thing. That's normally not part. I can make it disappear. See, that's how it looks when it's not there, and then there it is. Not getting in the way, but it's helpful, particularly for people that aren't familiar with Meta Battler. One of these colors, especially because it moves so quickly, it's tough to describe and make it all make sense without just completely bringing it to a screeching halt. All right, so score of 7. Level 2. Level 3 here. So again, I mean, card-wise, I definitely have the advantage. It's more than half ice cards here, those white cards for Killer DevBot. We'll start with Aaron Judge. Got a baseball bat, it's gonna beat you down. A floppy disk, too much for you. Bridgestone Arena, too much for you. The Gloom, too much. About War Memorial Auditorium. What about a promo shot from inside Municipal Auditorium? What about the exterior of Municipal Auditorium? What about the Fairground Sports Arena? What this Meta Battler card? Neary 3616 opening month in May of 2021. No. Vintage. Blue beats the red. Let's see if Ace Purple can get me the win. Anyway. Ace Purple to level 89. Staircase. You want to learn more? See right there. See, pull it up there. Ace Purple. Photo from 2011, the first year that University of Evansville, my alma mater, played at the new Ford Center. For many years at a place called Robert Stadium where they played when I went there in the 90s. Anyways, they had this giant Ace Purple I had a photo of, and it's a promotional. I was going to call it Ace Purple Staircase because that was really more the ideas. But then, I mean, it's Ace. I decided I was going to stick with that. A little brevity. Anyway, that gets me the round. On to level 4. There's only 5 levels here. And the difficulty level is picked up here. You can see 3 different colors, and it'll be tough. Got Dave Ira, Brazen Blake, the latest in for this next Twitchy Tides game here on NashvilleLou Live. That was a 59 card there, which is interesting. One more. Got it. Worked out pretty well. Level 4 complete. Now to the top of the tower for Hall of Heroes. 83, 87, 88. Even split for Freddy Funkill. Ace Purple. Floppy disk. Oh, against the 95. Okay. I'll see what we're up against here. This is not encouraging. I catch some breaks where I've got the color advantage. Could use that one right there. One left. Just getting smacked. That'll do it. Sometimes the makeup of the deck makes that top of the tower a little tricky. Alright, so I'm going to concede here. You can see from before, in 19 minutes, we'll see if I was one of the 5 lucky winners of the pack giveaways for this hour. The Alien Hunter. It's the collaboration effort for MetaBattler and the game Alien Worlds. Alien Worlds, a lot of people through the years have played that. I say like through the years, but I mean, it's been several years now since the launch of Wax. So one that a lot of people are familiar with, most certainly. So I'm extra happy to be able to promote my Neary 3616 land in Alien Worlds here. So we'll go. Next up will be. Yeah, so the Horseman will be a pretty quick one. I may do that now. Because a lot of times with the Horseman, this one, I'll get a couple of levels I'll beat, usually. But that third one, I'd have to really catch some breaks, and then the fourth one just crushes me. So I don't know. There's probably a technique where you have just 1 or 2 colors that you can catch some breaks. I don't know. So there are people that have been able to beat this, which seems odd to me, considering you can't really get your cards above 100, and they move too fast to tell. But look at this, 166. So clearly, you've got to have a technique to beat a single color, or some sort of plan, or willingness to have some patience to get up there. This should be doable. We're at it. It's MetaBattler here on NashvilleLou Live. We'll have a Twitchy Tides game coming up. You can join the list by typing !play in chat. So I know the blues will beat everything. The blues can beat the red. Any white cards will lose. I won't play them unless I have to. Bar Nashville 2003. Crosswalk to nowhere. Floppy disk. Unless I misclick, I'll get it right here. All right, flawless victory. Level 1 of the 4 Horsemen Tower. It's MetaBattler here on NashvilleLou Live with Twitchy Tides coming up. You can join the list for Twitchy Tides by typing !play in chat. While I'm thinking about it, post a link in chat here to the MetaBattler page here on Twitch. And I know there are people watching on Kick. Hello, everybody over here on Kick. But if you're on Twitch, there's a link in chat. They're not allowed to chat over on Kick on my channel there. So 9, 10, 11, F12. Thank you for the follow. Thank you. Greetings and welcome. NashvilleLou Live. Playing MetaBattler. We're going to have Twitchy Tides coming up here in just a little bit. Man, we're into a 74. It's level 2, and we're into a 74. Maybe heads up with a 71. down to this. Foolish mortal. So I'll pony up to 0.03 MVP to try again. At least get a couple of spots up here, so it's slightly better odds for me as far as potentially winning a pack for the next time it comes up. Every hour they're giving away 5 of these packs, these Alien Hunter packs. Any digital asset on the Wax chain, you can use that in-game. It gets synced up with what you have in your Wax wallet. But it's what they call non-custodial. In other words, you get to keep all your stuff. It just keeps track of what you have. And if you sell it or decide to burn a card for whatever reason, then it adjusts accordingly. Like if you open a pack like I did, okay, so the pack disappears from the inventory, but then you have to add a bunch of new stuff that I got in the pack. That's the idea with it. And here's to beat this level 2 opponent. It gets so frustrating. Like, they zig when you zag. You think they're going to switch it up, and you stand pat, they don't. Then you get surprised. One more. There we go. Alright, so beat the level 2. Level 3, look at that. 91 for red and 105 for the white, the ice cards. So it's doable. But I'm going to catch some breaks with blue cards in particular. Playing blue when they're playing red. So it doesn't matter. If you're a low-level blue, that's fine. Mute, minnow. Blue beats the red, doesn't matter. Problem is, blue's not going to be a white card. Play a red, and run into a red. And that's tough when you get a really strong one, it just gets beaten down. Even with 105 power, the red beat the white, so that one worked. That one didn't. But ace purple. Oh, ace. Again, we get to level 3 here. There's a reason I was pessimistic about it. Wasn't for dramatic effect. And it's even worse when you're not getting the breaks on guessing game. Down to my last one here. 82 loses to 87. Hit the concede button right there. So I'm curious, there's leaderboards. I can maybe show some of that off here in a bit. But for the results, the last time that there was a horseman drawing, they had 27. So there was one person. I actually won. I got a pack out of that. See, just by being 2 levels with Lord Zuku. So, I mean, I guess there's people that know how to do this somehow to beat this to level 5. If you catch a break with that level 3, it is possible. And I mean, clearly it's able to be done. But my point is, you're going to have a lot of people in there with just a couple of levels beat. So if you're short on time and you have like 1 you can go for, you're not going to be able to play again for several hours. The horseman one probably gives you the best statistical advantage if you can only get 2 wins quickly and then your time window's up. Whatever that's worth. It's like with the deck builder. You can create multiple decks. I typically just go with the one, but there is one for Consumer Break, who does a great job with his show. I need to talk sometime with Consumer Break about the state of West Virginia, where he lives. Because I lived there a couple of times, working at WSAZ Television. I need to make a note to send him a... Because, I mean, it's one thing to talk about it, like, in messaging. It's another, like, to try and say when there's 100 people in there ready to play Twitchy ties. Like a conversation about days of yore back in West Virginia. But then that's like the crosswalk to nowhere. That's right at Marshall University 11 plus years ago. Construction. And a red light, they didn't turn off, so you had to stop there, even though there was no reason for anybody to go across the street. there's a fence, and I mean, there's really like concrete blocks right there. But at least I've been able to get some fun out of it here, as much as it was legitimately frustrating at the time. And that was on a weekend. Even then, you're stopping. Maybe the excuse maybe the construction crew need to come across the street and climb a ladder to get there. Anyway. And then you got things like the Aaron Judge card. Can't really see. It's somewhat cut off by the way the overlay is, but you can see it's official from Topps. They only did the 1 year of wax digital cards here with Topps. So got some choices from the Yankees in there, but in particular, Aaron Judge. He's the one people know. So it's been fun having that in the mix. And then some of these, like where it's like Crypto Giant. It's an ultra rare card. I was seeing how the guys from Ultra Rare that made this game, John and Richie. And so it's their ultra rare collection you have in there, and you have the ultra horror comics. So there's several different varieties, but it doesn't have to be that. It can be Steel Justice from Blockchain Brawlers. I've got my game wall. Look at that. You see where I've earned that MVP just from playing here. I'll leave it be for now, because I'd like to. I get ace. Too far to reach the ace up to 90 just yet. So we're not going to go for that. And this will show you up here. It's kind of cuts off here, but as far as like the average, it's strongest for me in my reds, then white, and then blue. So maybe over here, the 2021 promo pack, boost that to an 85. Now, if I decided at some point, okay, I want to get this MVP out, you can do, I'm not going to do it here, but you can do what's known as harvesting. At the moment, it's 0% fee to harvest, and I imagine at some point that'll change, but they're making it as user-friendly as possible early on. So, for to do that, it would take the card from an 85 down to a 1, and that MVP would go to my wallet, and I could put it on other cards. So you have some options, especially if you're playing earlier and some of your cards, you've got cards from another collection you want to use, you want to boost them up, play for a bit with other cards, and you can go ahead and harvest them, and then use that MVP on the cards that you want to use from other collections. You get all sorts of choices with that point. I got 10 of the blue, 10 of the red, and then 10 of the whites. Steel Justice. And then the card that's a pack. Got a few of those. The floppy disks kind of stand out. Throwback. I remember the days. This isn't just like something from many moons ago. I don't know. I remember the days of floppy disks. Please enter disc 5, the King's Quest series. Just to go to the next room. I'm not going to be careful to harvest. That could be a disaster on stream. So I've got 9 and change in my wallet. I don't know if that's going to be enough to boost up one of the high up ones. Probably not. I can boost up Municipal Auditorium to an 80. And there we go. So it's not that difficult to get it aligned like that. And then you got 30 cards in your deck. You can add more. There's no, I don't know what the upper limit is, but the lower limit's 30. That's what I prefer. And so that's the approach that I've taken. So it's that. All right, let me go and bring the slate up. I'm going to get ready to take my hourly break. Take 1 break per hour here on NashvilleLou Live. On the other side of that break, we'll have the next Twitchy Tides game of the broadcast. I got 17 people in, 17 contestants for that next Twitchy Tides game. If you want to join the list, make that 18. Just type !play in chat. About a 5-minute break. Back with Twitchy Tides and more of Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. Stay tuned. coming back from break, NashvilleLou Live. We'll have more of Meta Battler here in just a few moments, but right now, it's time for Twitchy Tides. Last chance to get in with exclamation point play in chat. For the overlay down, I'll enter as well. That gets us to 22. I'm going to use this flame command here. So if I win, the prize goes to second place. Otherwise, for the winner of this Twitchy Tides game, it'll be a Warsaken foil prime card and an item from the NashvilleLou collection you can use to get a boost. In Meta Battler, fun game we've been playing tonight. We'll have more some here in just a bit, but right now, 22 contestants. Let's get to it. Good luck. That's 11 p.m. Eastern. NashvilleLou Live, big worm with a hook, and right away we're down to 20. It's Twitchy Tides. You're on NashvilleLou Live. Pink Felicia up top. It's tearing through the competition. My goodness, we're down to a dozen. My fish is out, so it'll be one of these last 12 remaining. That'll be the winner. But who will be the winner? Depth charge. We're down to 9. For this Saturday, I'll have live coverage here of the Warsaken Blitz tournament that Blue Mint is hosting. There's Big Worm the hook, and we're down to 7. And with those Warsaken Blitz tournaments on Blue Mint, they can, if I get bumped early, it could be a 45-minute broadcast. If I make it to the end, it could go 4.5 hours. That's happened before. As a depth charge gets us down to a half dozen. That's coming up this Saturday here on NashvilleLou Live. Cannonball. Upper mid. Zarveen's eliminated. We're down to 5. The spook command. Shaking the screen there. Then the depth charge. An ominous blinking red. Eliminates Terran Lord. We're down to 4. Nadu 6. Autumn's Toys. Dave Ira. And Bo Reddington. The final 4. Cannonball, bottom row, misses all 4 of the remaining competitors. Autumn's Toys with a freeze. Look out for Pink Felicia. Bottom half of the screen, we're down to 2. Autumn's Toys and Nadu 6, the final 2 remaining in this Twitchy Tides game. We'll have more of Meta Battler here in just a few moments. Not until we get the conclusion of this matchup here. Look out for Debo the Shark. Going down Broadway, right down the middle. Autumn's Toys. Well-timed super spin. Debo gets bounced. Big Worm with a hook. The bait is set. Autumn's Toys with a freeze. Can Nadu get past the hook? Is there enough room underneath? There's not, and that's going to do it. Congratulations, Autumn's Toys victorious in this Twitchy Tides game. All right, so congratulations to Autumn's Toys victorious in Twitchy Tides. And we're back open for the next Twitchy Tides game. You can join the list for it. You can get in by typing !play in chat. That's !play. for Twitchy Tides. So before the break went through, I was talking about building the deck, making sure 30 cards in there if that's what you want, like I do. It doesn't have, you can have it where it's all water if you want. You can mix it up however you want. You got some options, as long as you have at least 30 cards in the mix. And then whatever the upper limit is, I'm not sure if and what that would be. And you have multiple decks, although I usually just go with the one. Go to the home button. Basic setup here. It was the collector pack that I had. There were 15 Meta Battler cards inside, so I finally opened it. That's where I got that 76 one that I've got rating-wise. It was one of the 15 in there, so it worked out pretty well. It was fun having that, using packs in that form as a card you can use as a weapon in a game. Kind of amusing to me. But anyway, they got some good stuff in there, so if you want to get into Meta Battler, want to get some actual Meta Battler cards, you get that extra value on the sync up. Those are the packs to go for. Probably add here in chat. More about Meta Battler at their website, metabattler.io. Got 7 people in for the next Twitchy Tides game. You can join the list by typing !play in chat. Alright. Again, player versus player is being developed. Player versus environment, you still have a bunch of options. Let me go through here. I kind of skimmed over earlier because I wanted to get to the action. But with the towers, see where I've got this tower reward multiplier. So that's the MVP. That's what that coin, that image there, represents. So I've got a multiplier of 3.734. So instead of earning 1, like if I earned what would normally be just with a no reward win, 1 MVP, instead that would be 3.734. So you can see where it's valuable. It's like a 373% plus boost. Yet there are upper limits to how far you can get with that, so it doesn't get just ridiculous. So it's noted that Meta Battler Season 1, it's S1 cards, those packs that I just pointed out. And there's a max, even with those, there's a maximum. They with unique items, unique cards. So you can't have 5 of the Ace Purple 2011 cards, as far as the game boost goes. And that's, I'll get to that with the different collections, the collaborators, but that includes the seasons and the feature. And again, because of this Alien Hunter collaboration, we have Alien Worlds here. And there, again, a lot of people in the world of Wax are familiar with Alien Worlds or have some of their stuff. And you don't even have to do anything else with it, but just have your digital items get synced up. And for each one that's unique, that's a different template number. So, you know, in other words, you can't have 10 female soldiers, where's those, you know, real cheap ones. But you get a few, at least for as long as this goes on this feature. It's a bit of a boost. Not huge, but it does add up. And there's a maximum to it as well. And the stacking, they maximum 1x. So even if I had 100 different from Alien Worlds, it wouldn't get any higher than 1x. Founding Collection, got a maximum 1.5. Got a bunch of Ultra Horrors, Ultra Rares, Ultra Comics as well. It explains this stuff pretty clearly. The collab multiplier boost. This is where you see the bulk of the people that are involved, that are people like me, streamers, other game developers, people with a following, people with connections, people that have digital items on the Wax chain that you can use in game that have a collaborator status. Now, for some that have the NSFW that may be inappropriate to show live on stream, it blurs it. So even though it's potentially innocuous, it's better safe than sorry. So that's why Lewd Momoko, the #1, by far #1. I mean, that's more than double what I got. It's so strange to me that I'm in second place, because there's so many of these others that should be, like Faded Monsuda should be above me. I'm surprised that that's not the case. And Sensei Bullrock's got a winner there with that game that's getting developed. But once that's ready to go, and once I figure out the best way to adapt that for streaming, we're gonna have some fun with that. And then so on, like Consumer Break. How is Consumer Break not higher? I mean, he does stuff on stream. He does some great stuff as far as finding unique ways to make Meta Battler entertaining and interactive with his audience. I think we've only scratched the surface on that. I mean, for me, it's been more just trying to play the game and help people understand it. But again, there's a lot of different collections and things that you've dabbled in Wax and all have. You'd be surprised. There's stuff you may not even know you have that will show up in here. Even Novo Pangea, like in a different game, but Novo Pangea, if you got some of their assets, shows up in here. And it's not like you get more out of them if they have the total infused MVP doesn't give them extra power. It just gives you a higher spot on the list. And it's a long list here. And again, I've had the benefit where I've sent out enough of my promotional items through the years, and a lot of people have them, at least some. So there's some use being had out of them. It's like, Soul the Cat, how's she way down here? Soul should be higher up. I'm getting mad like it's the AP top 25. College football results from the weekend. I was Bandy outranked. Gotta say, there's a lot of collections. Just scrolling down here, just to give you an idea. I'm way up at the top at second. But it's only a matter of time until these large ones, as Meta Battler becomes more and more well-known, popular, and they add more stuff to it. The community collections. I have more MVP infused in my Brawlers Steel Justice. I've got like 60 plus. So I'm not sure, maybe there's some that don't qualify for this for whatever reason, but Atari's on there. So even the community collections, though, it's capped at 0.5 for the top 5 collaborators, just the larger collections. Funko, I had almost nothing from Funko before. No offense at all, that's just I didn't have any. But I saw the boost you could get. I'm already I'm at the threshold, so I can get 200 more unique ones without too much trouble. But it wouldn't give me any higher of a boost. You can't. It doesn't make it where it's unrealistic for people that are getting into be able to compete here and play and get value out of playing Meta Battler. Point is, there's all sorts of collections that you can use. Literally anything that's on Wax, on the Wax chain, can be used here end game in Meta Battler. And it's a maximum, again, it's 0.5 max per collection. Even if you took my personal ones out of there, I'd still have well above the maximum to get that 1x. So again, it's not like they did a lot of things, checks and balances wise, with this to make it where it'd be difficult for people to manipulate or otherwise abuse the system. And while I'm higher up, it's not like I get extra boost for my cards. It's the same as everybody else's, it just lists higher. It's a little thing, but it really works out well. It's incentive for me to want to talk about this, for me to play this on stream. We'll have another Twitchy Tides game coming up. Right now, we got, 14 people in the mix for it. If you want to join the list for that next Twitchy Tides game, all you have to do is type !play in chat. All right, so earlier, you can see where the Horrors Series 1 reset as far as in fact, I can take a look. Well, the results are in. The automated prize giveaways works really well. So while I was able to beat 10 unique levels there, I had a 6.25% chance, but 22 qualified players, 5 winners. Let's say you want to get more granular than that. Say, well, who else was in the mix? Well, here we go. I mean, it could have been worse. Look at Heath. Beat all 13 levels. Still got left out. It's similar to the NBA draft lottery, so I keep thinking of this, the percentage chances. But, I mean, again, with some of these, even if players can only get in for a few minutes to play during a lunch break or whatever, there's incentive to do so because maybe you'll end up with this pack. Get some surprise. I mean, again, this isn't a good example because you had a lot of the higher scores, but it's possible. You could have had new player 529 could have been the winner just with winning one game. And so it's a really nice setup. And now that they have 5 different towers in play, like before you go to bed, if you can go through there and get it all played out, by the time you get up, you'll have a fresh batch of options if you have time in the morning. Now, how much time you want to put into this is up to you, of course. Easy game to play, fun game to play as far as using different elements, cards that you might not be normally able to use on stream or otherwise utilize in any sort of practical way you can here with Meta Battler. So again, Alien Worlds has a collaboration going, which is perfect because I had that land in Alien Worlds. Here in Meta Battler, with Alien Worlds. The Alien Hunter is the name of the collab event, but my land in Alien Worlds is Neary 3616. So if you play Alien Worlds at all, please, at least sometimes, mine over at Neary 3616. If you like my stream at all, I would appreciate it. So again, you can have several decks, but I intentionally have it so I don't pick the wrong one, because that has happened before. When Consumer breaks live, it's fun to have that in the mix, but otherwise, I'll take one out so it's just below the threshold. That's what happens if you're not at 30. Incomplete. Oh, there's the... I mentioned it before, but there's it in writing, lest there be any doubt. Good to go here with the Ace deck, which doesn't really mean anything other than Ace Purple's in there, and my top deck is kind of the idea when I named it that. You get some interesting cards in here from Alien Worlds. I don't have a whole lot as far as Alien Worlds variety goes, so I don't think I've ever owned a male little green person before. Or a card. When you own a person, you get the idea. So mostly blue here, level 1. It's Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. 16 people in for the next Twitchy Tides game. You can join the list by typing !play here in chat. Oh, yeah. Autumn's Toys, you're talking about 2004. Texas. Conveniently leapfrogging, or inconveniently leapfrogging Cal. The system used to be terrible. Like, I was at the Orange Bowl in January 1998 when Nebraska trounced Tennessee. And my alma mater is University of Evansville. They dropped football while I was there. So I'm kind of a cynical... People are like, well, what's your favorite team? Like, well, I got a long story for you, buddy. At least we had it. At least I got to broadcast their games for a couple of years as a student. Better that than happening 5 years before. That never getting to happen for me. So keep that in mind. But yeah, the way it used to be, the polls and split national championships is kind of the point I was getting to. Where it's like Nebraska was undefeated. Michigan was undefeated. And they just split the national championship. I was like, how could you be so dense? And people defended that system. Oh, I had some arguments with people. On DraftKings, my NFL draft website, in the early days, oh man, there's so many things I had to argue with people about. I'm like, time has proved me right on a lot of it. And there are things that have changed that I didn't expect would happen. But that's life, isn't it? But yeah, but it used to be where things would happen. Now you got this 12-team playoff. That's kind of the crux of it. Even with a 4-team, that mini playoff was never sufficient. Now, at least, if you've got an undefeated season, I think like Marshall going unbeaten, it's like, oh, well, your season's over. You beat everybody in front of you. These schools aren't going to book you for home and home, certainly. Good luck filling your stadium with the FCSs of the world. So now, at least, if you've got a truly great team that's maybe not one of those super power conferences. Power 4 is going to turn to Power 2, by the way, if you hadn't noticed. SEC and Big 10 are like, all right, we'll humor the Big 12 and the ACC for now, but you can tell where it's going. I don't think that part's good at all for college sports, but the only saving grace to me is that it's the TV money that finally got those unsavory types, in my opinion at least, that ran many of the bowls. Those boring, meaningless exhibitions. If they truly meant something, the coaches wouldn't be able to just leave and people accept it. Notice that doesn't happen with playoff games, when they actually do matter. Actions over words. So action, let's get to the game here. Now, there are advantages. If you can beak it up a tower and win in the fastest amount of time, as opposed to sitting here and yakking like I did for 5 minutes there, then there are some rewards to be had. There's different... more information is available on the Meta Battler Telegram group. They can fill you in better than me on that. Point is, there's a lot to it, and they're adding more all the time. Much like Twitchy Tides. We got over there open to that top left corner. You can see the people in right now. Got 18 people in for this next Twitchy Tides game. You can join with !play in chat. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I'm in trouble. I wasn't going to blue there at the end. Let's go. 68. Ice for the win. No. Okay, I misread that. That was 1-1. 2-1. Well, not out of the woods yet, huh? There we go. Avoided the upset. All right, with a 2 there, Lou. Even with that big boost you got, you're getting 0.187. But it's better than nothing. So this should be a little more straightforward here with the female Cyborg T8. It's all white cards, all ice. Yeah, you're right about that, Autumn's Toys, about those bowl executives. There was one year with Ohio State and the Sugar Bowl. And some of the things that happened with that, where players were suddenly allowed to play, and it was a disgusting display of just money grab. And you're right, in many cases, I mean, those are bowl games are television events that make money for ESPN. That's what most of them are. And look, I mean, look, that's people enjoy them in many cases, but to get these, you're celebrating mediocrity in many cases because, again, those bowl execs are getting the money and the conferences are tied to it. So maybe you do want to go play out in hundreds of miles away at a neutral site. And part of the appeal of American college football is those home games where electric feel. That's like with the playoffs, having those at neutral site. I mean, they can hit the bricks. But I'm happy to have the playoff. It was a fight and then some to get to this point from the BCS era, from the split national championship era. Much better we have now, although the price you pay is having stuff like, okay, now Cal and Duke are in the same conference and playing at 1 a.m. Eastern on national television. None of this makes any sense. But welcome to 2024. Things in flux. And yet some things do make sense. They're a lot of fun. Like Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. Twitchy Tide's coming up. Another fun game. Oh, that's interesting. The question there, Autumn's Toys, about what Oregon did at the end of the Ohio State game, getting that 12th man on the field. You waste the time, you're right. And I think if they're not going to put the time back on the clock, that's a savvy move. I mean, you could argue unsportsmanlike conduct, but that they try not to push. That's like in their back pocket if things get really dicey. If somebody's been warned, they kind of ignore them. I lived in Columbus, Ohio for a year when I worked in television up there as a news producer. And I tell you what, I certainly learned that year up there just how intense fans of Ohio State can certainly be. Went to a couple of their games over the Horseshoe. That place, talk about a place getting electric. That place was a lot of fun. I love Columbus, great city. But able to come back to Nashville, my hometown. I'm NashvilleLou, not ColumbusLou, you know, but for a year in Columbus. So, victorious there, level 2 of the Alien Worlds Tower. This one has 10 levels to it. When we get through this, we'll have our next Twitchy Tides game. All right. A lot of variety here for this opponent, so hope we get some breaks going my way. Hello, Rising Dragons. Greetings and welcome, everybody. NashvilleLou Live. Playing Meta Battler now. We'll have another Twitchy Tides game coming up not too long from now. You can get in for that by typing !play in chat. Level 4. We get through with this tower. We'll get to that next Twitchy Tides game. My plan is to go to a little bit past midnight Eastern. Do a raid over to Average Casual Gamer. ACG with this Tuesday night show. That'll be coming up. Long title. Human. Again, if you're not that familiar with Meta Battler, I know there are new people tuning in all the time. That bottom right corner, I've got on the overlay there, as part of my overlay, I've got the very simple, the ice beats water beats fire. Red beats white beats blue. It's kind of the way I remember it. The NashvilleLou floppy for the win. So, pretty decent score there for level 4. Decent amount of MVP. And again, having those boosts, having all those different cards that went through before, with the collaborator collections, and of course the Alien Worlds cards for this collaboration Alien Hunter event. A male gray. Now there's one of the ones that I have. That's one of the more common ones as far as the Alien Worlds crew goes. There's all blue cards here, so the ice is going to beat every one of those, and the fire is going to lose to all of them. Heads up, my blue should beat those blues most of the time if I right-click by mistake. So I'll lose at least one of these on the heads up there. Oh, there's a second one. Nothing you can do about that. A third. Luck of the draw plays in a role just like with most card games. But nevertheless, the victory. A little bit of a boost there for Ace Purple on the road to level 90. Playing Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live with Twitchy Tides coming up in just a few minutes. Got 19 contestants lined up. You can get in on it by typing !play in chat. All right. Level 6, all red for the female reptiloid. I want to say the long guy, like reptile. But reptiloid. It's kind of an odd one to say. There's a lovely green individual here. Generally distrusted by all species due to their shape-shifting powers. Well, fair warning. There's all red cards there for this level's opponent. And get the win with this. Even if we get any more of the blue or reds. I was tempted to choose Aaron Judge, but I wanted the flawless, so I locked in with the blue, knowing it was all red over there. I knew the Manic BTC miner wasn't going to lose, whereas with Aaron Judge, not a given. And it does make a huge difference winning with a score 10 versus 9, but it does have better than not winning with a full 10. And again, you get a boost. Those very stuff we went through as far as the other collections go. And of course, the Meta Battler cards themselves. But it's great. This game gives you tremendous flexibility as far as the cards you use, the decks you put together. A lot of fun. All right, so red and white here for the Robotron Soldier. Robotron, I think that was the name of the game, like Robotron 2086. Was that it, the old video game from the 80s? We had like 2 joysticks, stuff just coming at you from all sides. That one did not play to my strengths. It was fun though. Oh, tie the round. 72 versus 72. Playing Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live with Twitchy Tides coming up in just a few minutes. Trying to rally. Get it here. Yes. Tough battle, but made it past level 7. Level 8. Female Nordic. It's kind of tough at this point here in the Alien Worlds Tower. I could have used that one. Heads up in the same color. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And last chance. Ah. That's a winnable round, though. 70s for most parts of the 60s. Let's continue. We'll try again. Rematch. And we'll try to remember this more closely. Mostly red, some white, and then a little bit of blue. Trying to go for the 81. I misclicked. Ugh. Down bad on that one. Ugh. That's twice I've lost heads up against the blue. Blue against the blue, losing narrowly. That's tough. That's tough, too. Ugh. Some lower cards that showed up. I'm doing it again. Continue. Start burning through the MVP. Had to get over at least once against female Nordic. It's Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. Not too long away from our next Twitchy Tides game of the broadcast. You can get in by typing !play in chat. '70 beats the 69. Oh, come on. Tie the round. Eesh. One more. Got it. All right. So I ended up with 1.6 and change MVP, so it's worth it on the extra effort. Tough one. This one, at least it's one color, so we'll see. 85 blue with a female gray. This is Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. You see that top left corner, people are in the mix for the next Twitchy Tides game. They'll be coming up after I finish this tower. It might end right here, because 94 right away. Uh-oh. And white cards will beat anything my opponent has. Reds will lose to anything. 87 blue. Okay, if I have any chance, I need to catch something like that to hit. So this is not an encouraging sign. Remember before, I had these ice cards going for days, and now it's the summertime. They all melted. And 94 being played there. Come on. That'll give me some false hope with some ice cards. Called a foolish mortal. Well, that's where it ends for me. Level nuts usually. Making it up the ladder's happened for me before, but it's tough though. It's that. Concede. I'll give me heat for it, whatever. Alright, so we'll get back to Meta Battler here in just a moment. Right now, let's get ready for some Twitchy Tides. Last chance to get in with exclamation point play. I'm going to join as well. We'll have at least 22 participants. If I win, the prize goes to second place. Otherwise, for the winner, it'll be a Warsaken foil prime card and an item from the NashvilleLou collection. They'll give you a boost. This fun new game of playing here with Meta Battler. Hope I actually typed the exclamation play to get in. What I'm talking about. There we go. I mentioned, of course, that Warsaken foil prime card, part of the prize for the winner. Warsaken Blitz tournament coming up this Saturday. Blue Mint is hosting it. I'll be live there and here. Simulcast on their website, but also here on NashvilleLou Live. Tournament edition. That's coming up this Saturday, the 19th. All right, 22 contestants lined up for this Twitchy Tides game. And here we go. Good luck. Big worm with a hook, and we're down to 20. Try that flame command that I have with this. The pumpkin rot. See, my fish fired up. I think of 8 seconds. And then, wait, did it blow me up? Oh, I didn't read the fine print. There I go. You never know what's going to happen in a live broadcast. Zarvine eliminated by the hook. We're down to 18. I didn't realize that possibly blowing myself up was part of that. Live and learn. Play with fire, get burned. And the cannonball going right to left. Upper mid, we're down to a dozen. That Cam No Fish in there. That dude's got some energy. Huge positive. Are spreading the word about Wax Gaming. Meanwhile comes Debo. Bottom half of the screen, we're down to 10. We'll have more Meta Battler after the conclusion of this Twitchy Tides game. The hook takes out that Consumer Break Turtle Cesaro NLV. Eliminated, we're down to 9. Cannonball. Flying through, we're down to 4. Panda Chan, Hackers, Funko Lover, Bo Reddington, the final 4 in this Twitchy Tides game. Cannonball up top, there goes Bo, there goes Panda. We're down to 2, it's Hackers and Funko Lover, the final 2. Debo the Shark. Bottom half of the screen eliminates Hackers. Congratulations, Funko Lover. Victorious in this Twitchy Tides game. All right. Funko Lover joins Dave Ira and Autumn's Toys on the list of winners from this broadcast. We'll have another Twitchy Tides game coming up here in just a bit. So we're back open for Twitchy Tides with exclamation point play in chat. I'm going to get back into it here with towers. So I made it up to level 8. That's usually about as high as I'm going to go in this alien world. So I have been lucky with it before, but usually it's about to stop. It's about where that hits. You need some luck to get past that, at least. Or sometimes it's luck of the draw as far as the distribution of the various cards in there. I already played the horrors earlier in it when they had the prizes that were given out about 40 minutes ago. They reset the time. So you've got 5 hours per tower with 5 of them in there, and rewards going out 5 packs per hour. It makes it a lot easier to maximize your tower opportunities when there's 5 of them as opposed to only 2. 3. So options. Some towers have higher climbs than others. Even in choosing which one to go after. If you haven't played all day, you get home, you only have a few minutes, which one are you going to go with? Well, one that only has 5, or especially the Horseman one would be what I would go for, just because it's a really tough tower. You'll have your best chance of getting something, I think, doing it that way. But then things could change tomorrow with it. This game is still being developed as far as player versus player. So many options and opportunities ahead with Meta Battler. So Meta Battler going up against some of the actual Meta Battler cards right here. And I said the one deck that I use, I talked about earlier, with that Consumer Break deck, which is fun to use sometimes when Consumer Break's live here on Twitch. Likes to play against people that have a deck that's Break in the name. So Consumer Break, you won't miss that one. We played a couple of times. When I say played, it's player versus environment. Played against my deck. But it was fun. Even though I lost both times, I still had fun with it. And usually that's a sign of a good game when that happens. You can lose and still enjoy having played. Whoa. Fell off the... That was such a fall down the tower. Alright, so... Mostly red here, but all 3 colors in play. This is Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. We'll have another Twitchy Tides game coming up. Already have 9 people in for it. People love Twitchy Tides. You can join the list. Exclamation point play in chat get you in for the next Twitchy Tides game. Alright. What's it saying here? Mostly red? It's pretty straightforward as far as that. That's why I have the element wheel with the colors. Even if I mess up and my mouse hovers over the audio part, which I try not to let happen. But because of the way this is my overlay setup, it doesn't block or obstruct that. It's very straightforward, but for people that are brand new to it, this is how you learn. Alright, so had to rally a bit there, but got the win. Whoa. On to level 2. Why is he carrying a stick? Oh, that's not a stick. The business end just kind of gets obstructed off the edge there. That's a sharp weapon. Most are half blue, some red, a little bit of white. This is Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. Another Twitchy Tides game coming up. With the NashvilleLou Live floppy. Score of 8 on level 2. And not huge on the MVP, but a lot more than I would have had without the boost. I went through it before, those different collections that you are able to get a boost from. When I talk about that, when I talk about people getting a boost from the NashvilleLou collection, It's with the extra bonus you get percentage-wise on this MVP you get. Bigger the boost, the more you get. Quite nice. So this one is half red, half white, no blue. One more. Aaron Judge for the win. Score 7. On to round 4. Level 4, to be precise. But rounds within a given matchup. It's level 4. Looks like half red, some blue, a little bit of white. Mostly red over there, so it's tough with a... Although, if there's a blue opposite me, then I'll win the round. Like that. All right. So level 4 is complete. Score of 9. 1.781 MVP. Moving right along. It zips you on down. Doesn't normally do that. Not quite like that. So level 5, it's half red, half white. No blue here for my opponent. Well, if I play a red, I know there's not going to be a blue waiting to punish me on the other side. So I'll either win heads up or beat a white card being played. Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. We'll have another Twitchy Tides game coming up. We got a dozen people already in the mix. You can join the list by typing !play here in chat. Need one more to win the round. And that'll do it. All right. Level 5, score of 7. This goes up to level 12. So here we are at level 6. Half red, half white, no blue. Look, I play these reds. No, there's not going to be any blues waiting for me to... An unpleasant surprise. Blue loses to the white. Oh, again, right click by mistake. That'll do it. Level 6 complete. On to level 7. It's Meta Battler here on NashvilleLou Live. But half blue there for Rex. Risk it. The name listed there. In case you can't see it with the background, even If you hover over it, does it come higher or lower? Or is it kind of, it tilts the screen just a tiny bit? Okay. You can see it's very straightforward the way this game works. But it's fun because you wide variety of whatever your imagination come up with as far as configurations goes for your deck. All right. So a nice win there on level 7. Score a 9. Look at MVP. Above the 3.7 mark. Level 8. Pretty even distribution. The blues on average look to be weaker than the reds and the whites, but ultimately it shouldn't make that much of a difference. But I mean, luck of the draw does come into it against an opponent with a pretty even split, where sometimes you can have dominant cards and just had some lousy luck as far as the matchups go. '69 beat the 68 there. One more. Ace purple for the win. All right, look at that. 4.302 MVP. Stack it up. Level 9. Could get a little bit more difficult here. Taking on Sergeant Shrapnel. Doesn't look like he's in a very pleasant mood. Oh, what is it? What are we staring down here? I'm looking at the cars. Wait. Meanwhile, there's a portal. An urban landscape. On. There we go. Sergeant Shrapnel's on the comeback trail there. Level 10. Some red, majority white, no blue here. Hello, Silent One. Greetings and welcome, everybody. NashvilleLou live, playing Meta Battler. We'll have Twitchy Tides, another Twitchy Tides game coming up here in just a bit. Thank goodness I switched from Steel Justice to a stronger card. But will it make a difference? Oh, they stuck with the eyes. I thought for sure they're going to switch it up. Last one. Gonna come down to this. Oh. Tied battle. I'll go ahead and concede here. I could do a rematch if I wanted to, but I'll concede at this point. They'll taunt me about it, but whatever. So now it's for Meta Battler. When the time runs out, I'll go through and figure out who the big winners are for that hour. I'll have 9 unique levels complete. And you see they're even putting in solid time. It's you once that top of the hour hits, a new one comes into the mix. So you got a lot as far as options go, it's a big positive. Love Meta Battler. We've only just gotten started with it at this point. So I'm going to take my hourly break now. Got a 5-minute break. On the other side, back with Twitchy Tides. Have 16 contestants in the mix. You can join the group by typing !play in chat. Back in just a few minutes with Twitchy Tides here on NashvilleLou Live. Stay tuned. right, coming back from break, NashvilleLou Live. The other side of midnight Eastern. A quick reset. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. About to play some Twitchy Tides here. Last chance for you to get in on it by typing !play in chat. I'll go ahead and take down the overlay. We're back from commercial, from break. I'll get in this as well, so we'll have at least 20 competitors. If I happen to win, the prize will go to second place. But otherwise, for the winner, it will be a Forsaken foil prime card and an item from the NashvilleLou collection you can use to get a boost in the fun new game Meta Battler. Been playing here the past 2 hours. All right, 20 contestants, and it begins now. Good luck. It's Twitchy Tides here on NashvilleLou Live. Right away, depth charge. We're down to 17. Big worm with a hook. I'm going to try the flame command. Last time I managed to blow myself up accidentally doing this, so I'm going to get typed. Clicked on the wrong thing. Flame. Here comes Debo. Let's see if I'll throw fire at Debo if it just makes me blow up. Well, maybe somebody else took out Debo. We're down to 14. Look out for that cannonball. Took me out along with a lot of others. We're down to 8. Debo the Shark. Upper part of the screen. We're down to 6. A wide variety of fish and other aquatic life. So much new, fun, interesting stuff happening all the time with Twitchy Tides. Depth charge. Silent One somehow gets past it there. My goodness, that was narrow. Hackers not as lucky and eliminated there. We're down to 5. Pink Felicia. Up top row, taking out Dave Ira. We're down to 4. Sorrow NLV, Zach Bonifer, Panda Chan, and Silent One, the final 4 in this Twitchy Tides game here on NashvilleLou Live. Debo the Shark, upper mid. Zach Bonifer somehow gets past. Cesaro NLV not as lucky, eliminated there by Debo. We're down to 3. Along with Zach, it's Silent One and Panda Chan, the final 3. Cannonball. There goes Zach. There goes Silent One. Congratulations, Panda Chan. Victorious in this Twitchy Tides game. I'll be sending out the prizes from today's broadcast a little bit later on in the evening. Prizes will come from my fulfillments wallet, so be on the lookout for that. For the winners here in this broadcast. Check on something else. All right, Average Casual Gamers Live. So let's go over there. I'm trying to talk ACG into giving Twitchy Tides a try, so if you could please take the ride over real fast, say hello to ACG, and encourage ACG to consider Twitchy Tides. That's going to do it for this broadcast of NashvilleLou Live. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. Thanks for watching. See you next time.